Now, we're going to move then to the next question, which is regarding what is identity theft. Frank, I'll pass over to you to go through this
Sure.
question.
Thank you, Lais. So identity theft, we'll get the definition. Identity theft is a fraudulent use of a person's private identifying information, usually for the purpose of financial gain. So you'll hear this term out there in the world, and I'll use it a couple times, PII, private identifying information or personal identifying information. That's information that's unique to you, and the ones you really need to be concerned about are the ones that are static. You're static, that means they don't change, or if you wanted to change them, it would be difficult. You can't change your date of birth. Changing your social security number is very complicated and difficult. Changing your name can be complicated. Those aren't things you want to change very frequently. Credit cards, yeah, your credit card get hacked, you get a new credit card with a new number. Not a big deal. Credit card companies do that pretty regularly. In fact, they do it themselves just to stay one step ahead for you. But the most important thing you want to remember about identity theft is it is a crime. If you think you've been victimized or become a victim of identity theft, you need to report it to the local law enforcement authorities. Not that they're going to jump and start an investigation and everything for you. The purpose of reporting it is because it is a crime, and you want to have a timeline. You want to have a documented timeline of when you became aware of an incident or a situation that happened. Okay, because what does identity theft do? It can damage your finances, can damage your credit history, and most importantly, your reputation. And that, again, when it comes to your reputation, that can be very hard to repair. Okay, once the accusation is out there, once the misinformation is out there, that's kind of hard to reel in sometimes and hard to repair. So another thing to keep in mind when it comes to identity theft and protecting your information is everywhere. Think about where you've been in your life and where you've shared information, whether it be on the internet or in person when you filled out forms, places you went to school, doctors, dentists, chiropractors, the banks, everywhere you've gone, applied for mortgages, they've all got your information. What are they doing to protect it? Maybe not so much, or not as much as you'd like them to be doing. And as a result, your information's out there and vulnerable. So you've really got to be diligent and stay ahead of it and keep an eye on it yourself. Statistic for you. From April 2020, so just last month, there were 80 data breaches reported. Okay, and these are larger companies that report data breaches, and those consisted of almost 1,911,000. So that's pretty close to 1 million sensitive records were exposed from those data breaches. So again, and that's companies losing your information. So that's just an example of, your information's out there. So the types of identity theft we're talking about, we've got driver's license identity theft. That's somebody taking your driver's license, your information, putting their photo on it and going out and driving around doing whatever. Why can that be a problem? They get a moving violation. They're involved in a traffic accident. They get a DUI. That's now in your name. That's now on your record. Social Security. This encompasses a lot of things. Social Security identity theft can encompass a lot of things. Government benefits, getting your retirement benefits, getting unemployment benefits. Those are things that, somebody's using your Social Security number that can affect or impact you, your taxes and other things. An example of this, in Washington State last month, they had to stop issuing their unemployment benefits because they discovered that they had about $1.6 million in fraudulent claims to unemployment benefits. So they had to put it on hold until they could sort it all out. It's happening out there, especially now with the amount of people applying for unemployment. What do? You need your Social Security number to do that. Medical identity theft can happen. People use your insurance to go get medical care. What's going to happen now is your information, your medical information, your personal information is mixed with somebody else's, and that can create all kinds of problems if and when you end up in the hospital and you want to get medical care. Now your record isn't all yours. Maybe you're a diabetic and now that's not on your record because someone's messed up your records, or you're allergic to penicillin, or you're not allergic to penicillin, but your record shows you are. These are things that can become very complicated and life-threatening when it comes to medical identity theft. On those two things, that your Social Security, I would encourage you to go check ssa.gov and check your Social Security benefits. See what's reported there. Make sure all the information that is there is yours. When it comes to medical identity theft, there's a website you can go to. It's called Specialty Credit Reports. Because again, just like for your credit, there's a medical history clearinghouse. There's an organization that collects medical history on everyone, all right? You want to go there and check yours to make sure that the medical information that's there does belong to you and not somebody else. That would be an indication that you've been victimized. The next one, character and criminal. Again, somebody creates commits a crime in your name. You've now got that on your record. That can cause problems for your reputation as well as licensing. You get a crime committed in your name, that may affect your ability to hold licenses for financial services, real estate, insurance, all kinds of things. So there's all kinds of repercussions from these types of identity theft that can be pretty damaging. And of course, we all know about financial identity theft. That's probably the one we're most familiar with. That's when somebody hacks into your credit card, your bank account, and steals your money or makes charges. You know, identity theft was the top complaint with the Federal Trade Commission for the last 15 years. In 2018, victims reported losing $1.48 billion to fraud. Next slide. And last but not least, child identity theft. Children are a big target for identity thieves. Why? Their information is pretty clean. They don't have employment history. They don't have credit history. They don't have criminal history. Therefore, a child's Social Security number can be very valuable and can be used for a long time before it's detected. So as you see by this example, this poor guy, he's going to turn 4 on Friday, and he's got $23,000 balance on credit cards, and his condo's in foreclosure. We can laugh about this a little bit, but it happens. It's serious. It does happen to people. So this is why we're talking about this, because this happens to people, and it doesn't happen to other people. It can happen to you. It can happen to you as a small business owner. It can happen to your employees, and that's why we're talking about this today, because it impacts you as a small business owner in a lot of different ways. Back to you, Lais.
Okay,